The alien woman stood silently in the rain, her silver skin dimmed by the gloom of Titan's endless dusk. A tattered robe clung to her thin frame, soaked and shivering. Her eyes, large and shimmering like twin moons, stared out at the landing pad as ships roared past her without pause. Her name was Zalari. To most she was a liability, failure of genetics. Her race, the Zirani, were known for their psychic power, their brilliant command of mathematics, and their precise navigational minds. But Zalari had none of that. She was born deficient. At least that's what the others believed. She was abandoned by her own house. The Zirani consortium, prideful and cold, deemed her unworthy of a place in their star-bound legacy. For 3 years, she lived on the outskirts of Port Atlas, the human-run colony station on Titan. She swept hangar floors, fetched tools for board engineers, and was mostly ignored. Until one man noticed her. His name was Derek Vance, a human ex-salvager with a prosthetic arm and a stubborn sense of fairness. He'd seen too many beings tossed aside by empires, syndicates, and even their own people. When he first saw Zalari curled beneath a freight container, trying to keep warm in the freezing fog, he simply said, "Come on. I've got a heater." She followed him without a word. He didn't ask questions. He gave her soup, a blanket, and a place to sleep in the corner of his hangar, where he tinkered with dead ships and broken dreams. She stayed. At first, Zalari didn't speak much. She watched, listened. Her delicate fingers traced the outlines of old power converters. Her eyes lingered on engines long thought unusable. Derek noticed. She was quiet, but her gaze had intensity, like she saw something no one else could. Then one evening, as Derek struggled to recalibrate an old cargo shuttle's pulse core, Zalari stepped forward. She didn't ask for permission. She simply reached out and moved a single cable, then adjusted the settings on the stabilizer node. The core stopped sparking. The system hummed to life. Derek stared. "How did you?" Zalari blinked. "It was singing the wrong note," she whispered. Her voice was gentle, barely audible. "I fixed the melody." He didn't understand what that meant. But the shuttle flew 2 days later. Word began to spread among the repair crews. "That weird Zirani girl. Yeah, she fixed my whole NAV grid in 10 minutes. Swear to the stars, she touched my drive once and it stopped overheating. I think she can hear machines better than we can read manuals." But not everyone was impressed. "She's a freak," spat Overseer Malric, the human in charge of Port Atlas's trade operations. "Even her own people left her behind. That should tell you something." "She's dangerous," added Talak Ver, a Zirani envoy. "She was born broken. It is not safe to elevate such anomalies." Derek ignored them. To him, Zalari wasn't broken. She was a miracle. He began bringing her onto more complicated jobs. Star haulers, mining vessels, even alien bioships. And each time she amazed him. She didn't just fix things, she harmonized them. Sometimes she didn't even use tools. Just her hands, her hums, her strange way of syncing with machinery like they were old friends. "She's not reading blueprints," Derek once said to a stunned client. "She's feeling them." Then came the Nova Rapture. A Class 9 research cruiser from the Galactic Science Directorate crashed into Titan's outer marshes after a warp malfunction. On board were 200 scientists, their databanks, and an experimental stellar core sample, a fragment of a dead star capable of vaporizing the planet if destabilized. Rescue attempts failed. The ship was buried in methane ice, its AI locked behind corrupted firewalls, the core starting to pulse erratically. "They've got maybe 8 hours, Malric announced grimly. "If that core explodes, It'll take the whole colony with it. We need a fleet engineer or a top-tier Zirani technician, Talakvar said. Not a half-wit charity case with a song in her head. Derek didn't wait for approval. He grabbed Zalari's hand and flew his shuttle straight to the wreckage. The Nova Rapture loomed like a dead god, its hull split, tendrils of energy arcing across its sides. The moment Zalari stepped aboard, she froze. She fell to her knees. Her eyes widened as the hum of the dying star filled the ship. "It's screaming," she whispered. Derek helped her up. "Can you do something? Anything?" She looked at him, truly looked at him, and for the first time he saw fire in her eyes. "I can try." She didn't use the terminal. She sat cross-legged in the center of the chamber that housed the core, placed her palms on the scorched floor, and closed her eyes. She began to hum. A low, haunting melody, unlike anything Derek had heard. The lights flickered. Consoles stopped sparking. The violent energy slowed. Outside, emergency teams monitoring the core's readings went silent. "It's stabilizing," one whispered. In just under 30 minutes, Zalari walked out of the chamber. Exhausted. Ill. But alive. The ship was safe. Everyone was safe. News spread like wildfire. The girl they called useless had done what no expert could. She had saved Titan. Alone. Reporters arrived. Scientists begged for interviews. The Zirani consortium sent a ship within the week. Talakvar returned, but this time he bowed. "You are a marvel, Zalari. Your ability, your gift could benefit our people. Please return with me. We will elevate you as one of the sacred engineers." But Zalari looked past him. Her gaze settled on Derek, oil-stained and smiling proudly in the distance. "I already found my place," she said softly. "He saw me before anyone else did." 3 months later, Zalari stood beside Derek at Port Atlas's central hub, where a statue was being unveiled. It showed her with her hands on a starship's heart, her eyes glowing, her hum guiding the flames of a dying star. Beneath it, the plaque read. She listened to the machines, and they sang her praise. Derek nudged her shoulder. "Still think you're just a floor sweeper?" She smiled. "No. But I wouldn't have remembered who I was if you hadn't reminded me." And from that day forward, whenever a ship broke down in the far corners of space, there were whispers on every frequency. "Call the girl who listens. Call the miracle. Call Zalari."